All right, guys, this is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and we are back with another Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play mystery shard only run video. Today, we're going to be talking about the stuff that I don't do. Yeah, we're going to be talking about some heroes, well, basically all the heroes that I have picked up along the way, playing mystery shards only, but this will include only the fusion heroes and some of the random free ones. I already have a video in Champion Spotlight if you want to check that out, that has the heroes I don't use, and that's the legendaries that were all free, like Arctic and Wukong and all those heroes like Rhonda and Death Knight. Those are the ones that people most likely will get depending on when you started playing. And I kind of reviewed them and what I feel about them just based on having fought them and having at least been around them enough to know what they're capable of. Now, the heroes today, some of these heroes I have literally never fought. I've never fought them. I have never used them. Like, I don't know anything about them. So, but we're just going to check them out and see which ones of these that I would actually consider using based on my experience of playing the game with just the Mystery Shard heroes and, login champions. Basically, this will help you guys, for people that have gotten some of these heroes to see which ones might be worth building and knowing where I'm having trouble with the heroes that I'm currently using versus you who may be able to use these heroes, right? So let's start it off with Fergen. With Fergen. It's Fergen Isabel. I don't know why. It's just, you have to say it that way. You have to say it that way. You're just like, hello, it's Fergen. All right, let's look at their skills and see what she's about. Now, I know she's pretty cool. I've heard she's pretty good, but we don't know. But she does look a bit like Chucky. So I don't know how I feel about that. Chucky with boobs is not my thing, but all right, let's see. All right, we've got an attack on one enemy, has a 50% chance of decreasing the duration of a bomb debuff by one turn, so that's good. Also, has a 25% chance of placing a bomb debuff on a random enemy for one turn, instantly detonates the bomb debuff placed on that random enemy. That's nice. And all bomb debuffs placed by this skill on enemies whose max HP is higher than 200,000 will deal 20% more damage. So I guess if you have a bomb enemy that you want to fight, then yeah, this is great. Might be good for the arena, but this won't obviously work for the arena. I mean, I don't know if I've ever fought anyone who has 200,000 HP. I'm sure they exist. That's a lot of HP. My best hero has 80. So figure even at best, maybe 150. I don't know. I've never seen a 200,000 HP hero, but who knows? Enemies, however, and bosses, yes, definitely a good idea. The first hit, all right, attacks an enemy 2 times. This is called Tracer Slugs. First hit has a 75% chance of placing 2 bomb debuffs that detonate after 2 turns. The second hit has a 55% chance of applying debuff spread effects, taking 1 bomb debuff and placing on all other enemies. And that's kind of annoying. All bomb debuffs placed by this skill on enemies, yep, same thing. 200,000 will deal 50% more damage, so that's even better. Attacks all enemies has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Grants an extra turn if weaken was placed on all enemies by this skill, which means basically accuracy is going to be a big deal. This becomes a thing because it's 75%, but you also get what? 25. So yeah, it's 100% chance as long as your accuracy, is higher than whatever you're attacking. If the resistance is high, then yeah, you're probably not placing it. If it's an enemy, in an arena. Places a revive on death buff on this champion for 2 turns when an enemy dies from bomb debuff. All right, so that's cool. It's got a 6-turn cooldown. A little long, but hey, it's a free revive. Usually revives work just that one time. So I would say, yeah. She's pretty good. Her aura is increased accuracy by 40, so that's not bad. Basically, this girl is probably really good in very specific areas of the game. Anything that has to do with you needing a bomb to destroy something. This one especially. What is it? The debuff spread. She can spread bombs to other players. Yeah, just imagine what you can do with that skill. And even a wave clear, like you could throw bombs on everybody, and as soon as they get that turn, she can decrease the duration of some bomb buff. So if she's really fast, you could probably get bombs on everybody pretty quickly, and even a weaken, which is nice. So you could just attack one enemy, and while you're attacking that enemy, you're essentially lowering the time on bombs. So, and that's on an A1, so that's actually pretty cool. And then yeah, if you're fighting, I guess I don't know how this would work out. Maybe in clan boss or something like that, or even like a regular boss. I'm sure there's places here where this would be really good. This 200,000 HP, especially with that and the 50% extra damage. Yeah, that's a lot of damage on bombs. But the thing is that what I've heard is they don't do a lot of damage. So, but I know she's good, and I know we could probably use her even in Hydra or a couple of the places that might be useful. I mean, I could think of a lot of places. It's funny because you would think Arena would be like her big thing because of the bombs and stone skins and all that other crap. But at the same time, I mean, her extra skills don't benefit in Arena. You know what I mean? Her extra all bomb thing here. So I don't know how I'd feel about that. I would build her. I mean, right now my dwarf faction is horrible. Like literally horrible. It's the worst one probably, and it's just because I haven't gotten certain ones. Like I haven't gotten Candle Guard. So like certain heroes that I would definitely use in faction crypt. I mean, Avir's really good. Madman's really good. There's a few really good ones in there. There's some good guard heroes in there in dwarf. Very few straight up attack heroes outside of like. Remember, we're talking about mystery shards only. We're not talking about every hero, every dwarf in the game. There's obviously good ones, but yeah, I mean, if you have Torment, obviously you're going to use him. But this could help you out in there. I mean, hey, if it blows through debuffs and breaks shields down and does a whole bunch of good stuff, damage, then yeah, I would say that's worth it. All right, Ambassador Lethin. This is a high elf hero. And from what I was told, he's pretty good. Let's check him out. Attacks all enemies has a 15% chance of placing a decreased crit rate debuff for 2 turns. If this champion's HP is full, the chance increases to 30%, and it's based on attack, so that's nice. An A1 that attacks all enemies. Places a taunt buff on the target ally for 2 turns. Also places a 30% reflect damage buff on all allies, so that's good too. And decreases the duration of 2 random debuffs on all allies. Then heals all allies by 5% of their max HP. And the Ascended skill heals by a further 2.5% max HP for each debuff that had its duration decreased. Well, it's 2 buffs, so I guess it can only decrease 2, which means it can only do 10%. So there is a limit to it. I mean, is this guy good? I mean, I don't see much that's super good outside of this taunt. It would be better if I think his attacks were based on heal or HP. I mean, really, his A1 is where any damage is coming from. Everything else he does is basically just support. I could see this being a nuisance. It's like, all right, so let's say you took him and you put him with, I don't know, Death Knight. Basically, you could have him taunting while Death Knight is basically taking all the single hit damage. So if everyone's taunted and they only do single target, yeah, I mean that could be annoying. There's definitely some annoyance here. He's more of a mischief person, I think. I wouldn't say he's amazing. Yeah, I mean, look, we didn't even look at his reviews. There you go. Let's see. Let's just look at her reviews real quick. Yeah, see, she's pretty good. Like I said, it's a little weird for her, and that's why I'm not surprised there's mixed reviews with her, and that she's good in certain places. It's not surprising to me that that's how this would go. It's not surprising to me that he has bad reviews either. I mean, it's probably mainly because he just doesn't have anything special. The taunt is the only thing that really makes him stand out. So, I mean, if you wanted to use that for maybe Spider, like that could be something because then you definitely know, that all the spiders are going to target him, and then you're basically just going to be ignoring this. All right, like a whole bit. This is literally I would just go like HP, defense, and accuracy. That's it. I would forget that he's even there for attack. That's what he'd be there for. You just put him with like 100,000+ HP, give him a bunch of defense and give him some accuracy so he can land some stuff and some speed. And yeah, you're done with him. He doesn't even need to be fast, actually. You could probably just put him in HP and defense and skip speed altogether and just give him accuracy instead. And he could taunt, and then that taunt's going to last forever, especially if the team you're fighting is really fast. So they're just going to keep whacking on him. I mean, you could consider even just updating his gear by putting him in like a counter attack thing. So basically, every time they attack him for the long period of time while he's slow, he's just going to keep counterattacking. So that would be cool. Yeah, I mean, I think him in a counter set or some kind of a regen set would be your best bet, depending on how beefy he is. If he's not that beefy, maybe regen. If he is beefy and you have really good set, yeah, I would put him in like a counter maybe. But even then, he's not going to do much damage, but he's going to be constantly countering within his A1. So he's constantly attacking all enemies. So if you somehow were able to figure out a way to give him a lot of attack, this could be kind of dangerous. So yeah, I definitely don't think. I mean, after talking that out, I don't think he deserves this. I don't think he deserves this rating. I think people might just not know how to use him. His multipliers could be bad. Would I build him over anyone that I've done for Faction Wars? Not even close. I Had no problem with High Elves faction crypt. You get literally some of the best heroes in High Elves. Actually, that's not true. I didn't have no problem. It took me. I had to get Hyria. Hyria helped me beat that. But other than that, I mean, you get pretty good heroes for High Elves. You get what is it, Apothecary? You get is it Arbiter? I think is High Elves. I think I don't know which she is. Either way, yeah, she is High Elves. So you get plenty of good heroes that are support. So do I need him for faction? No, obviously not. But yeah, he definitely could have some cool mischief type things that I would do with him. T-Mobile. Here we go. We got Shadowkin. What does she do? She just looks cool. I just like her in general. Would I use her? I don't know. All right, let's see. Attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of stealing a random buff. I mean, it's good, but not great. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. I mean, that's cool. And has a counterattack buff on the target ally for 2 turns. Places a counterattack buff for 3 turns instead if the ally is from the Shadowkin faction. Then fills the turn meter of all allies by 15% and places a 30% increased crit damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places a 30% increased crit buff for 2 turns on all allies from Shadowkin faction. So that's basically just a Shadowkin faction wars buff, is what that is. Increases all heals and turn meter fill effects by 20% when used on allies from the Shadowkin faction. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will be active. Okay. And then increase ally speed in faction crypts by 24%. So basically, would I build her? Currently, yes, because my Shadowkin's not that great. I also haven't leveled any of them. I think I have 160, maybe 2. So yeah, would I build her? Yeah, immediately. Honestly, for faction crypt, I would build her immediately. Anything else? Like for the regular game, I wouldn't build her at all. Like if the faction crypts didn't exist, she would go in the vault. All right. Well, she is in the vault, but if faction crypts didn't exist, I wouldn't build her. Let's see what her reviews are. Probably really good because of Faction Wars. Yeah, Faction Wars 8. So yeah, she's got that. I don't know why people like her so much, other than the counterattack. I mean, it is what it is. She's not that great. She does attack all enemies and does decrease attack. So maybe that's why people are using her, and she can steal a buff. I mean, there's so many better heroes for the things that you could do with her. If we're just going by on paper, though, yeah, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even consider her except for Faction Wars. Like her whole kit would have just been. This would have been like a 5 for Faction Wars because of how good that is. That she gives him extra turn meter and all that other stuff, and crit rate and all that. And she gives him 24% speed in the crypts. Yeah, that's amazing. I wouldn't put her in any of these. Like, why would you use her in Demon Lord? Like, there's zero reason to use her unless you literally just started. Maybe it's just a bunch of people that just started and they're like, "Oh my god, Tomo, she's so cool! I got an epic." Like, yeah, she's trash. Like I said, I'm just going based on what I'm seeing. All right, guys. So if you're mad, I mean, there's not much I can do. I'm just going by my opinion. All right, let's look. Ashima. She looks kind of cool. I remember actually really wanting her back in the day, and I was excited to get her. There was another hero I didn't get, but she was the ugly one out of the 4. She was the original from was it from Rat King, I think. So let's see what makes her good. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 20% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. That's not bad on an A1. I'll take poison. Attacks all enemies. Has a 75% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns on all allies. So all allies weaken. I can do that. I can dig that. Attacks one enemy. Has a 75% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs on the target by 1 turn. Also has 75% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn. That's a sexy skill. Yeah, I mean, it's upsetting. It's only one enemy, but I mean, that's still a pretty reasonable thing to do to somebody. Heals his champion by 3% of their max HP whenever an enemy receives damage from a poison debuff. So basically, we attack her. We attack with poison, get the poison up, right? So that's going for 2 turns, right? Yeah, for 2 turns. So that's going for 2 turns. Then you attack everybody, right? You put a weaken on them. This attacks one enemy and decreases the duration of all buffs and the target. So now you can come in with this skill, which is on a 4-turn cooldown, 3 when you book it, and then you hit her with this, and then this goes from 2 when you use this skill to 1. You use this one, and it increases it again to how many was it for 1 turn? So that brings it to 2 again, and then you go in and whack them with another poison, and you keep cycling. All right. And eventually you'll just keep getting poisons, right? So that's not bad. Because you can get to this for 2 turns. You can increase it. So you should be able to just constantly stack. If you're fast enough, you should be able to just constantly stack poisons. And then this is nice because she'll just heal herself. So I could see her being like a solo person for like Dragon or something. Like, yeah, they gave her like Demon Lord, Faction, Crypt, because she'll just constantly poison. How is she for Dragon? People don't like her for Dragon? Yeah, let's say Dragon's like 4.4. Honestly, if you built her right, I feel like, yeah, you could more than likely solo Dragon with her. That's actually, she's got a really good kit. I mean, it's kind of like a niche thing. I mean, the AOE weaken is good. Don't get me wrong. That's a pretty good skill. I do have it on Gerda, so it's not like something I need. So it is a skill you will get eventually from the heroes that you play. I mean, granted, it took a year and a half, but yeah, you'll get it. But yeah, I mean, she's definitely cool. I like her. I think she would be great for Knights Revan and for doing the bosses and keeping herself alive. And she's got really cool nails. She got them done. She got her nails done. Uh, Gorab. So he's Undead Hordes. I would build this guy immediately if you got him early on because he is ridiculous. He's also a really good speed lead for your arena team if you don't have Arbiter. So yeah, there's that. I already know this guy's good. I don't remember what makes him so good. We're going to find out. But I already know he's good. I had him at one point in another account. So yeah, he's definitely not bad. 50% chance of removing one random buff. It is what it is. Fills turn meter of all allies by 15% and places a 25% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. Fills the turn meter by 15% and a 50%. So yeah, there you go. You're basically getting turn meter effect and attack up. So better than Spirit Host right there. Revives any dead allies with 25% HP, then heals the allies by 25%. The heal will happen even if there are no dead allies. I mean, that's nice. So there you go. You get a heal and a revive. It's basically a dead skill unless you need healing. So there's that. This doesn't heal, right? Yeah, this doesn't heal either. I mean, he's got a revive. He's got speed in the arena. I would use him as a speed lead for attack up. Basically, use attack up, and you get a boost to your. Because I used to use apothecary for that, and then I had what's his name? What's her name? Spirit Host to do attack up. That was the early game. But if you pull him early, yeah, I would just use him to take over the spot of Spirit Host and apothecary for arena because then he can do attack up 50% and turn meter increase. Then you can have your defense down hero come in, and then you've got 2 more heroes that you can play with to fix your arena team. So essentially, if you have someone, this is just the example I always use because it's easy, but if you have someone like Kymar, you could use him as your third. So basically, you would do Gorab as your speed lead. He puts everyone speed up, turn meter up, and attack up. You bring Kymar in second. He puts everyone to sleep. Unless you want the defense down first, that's an option too, because then Kymar will do more damage. It just depends on which one you're trying to do. If the third and fourth hero both have the skill that do more damage against debuffs, I don't know how the damage works out there. It might be better. It also getting the slow off first might be optimal in arena because then the sleep, because then maybe they don't get a turn. Maybe you stop someone from getting that in-between turn that can screw up the fight. That is up to you. I leave it to you how you want to run that. But yeah, you could have Kymar do sleep, have someone do defense down, and then another nuker who has that mastery that can do more damage against people that are debuffed. So there you go. Boom, nuke. So yeah, he's awesome. I would put him in arena immediately if I had him. I do have him, but I unfortunately I can't use him. All right, Bovos Sharparn. This guy is kind of cool looking. One of the coolest. I don't know if I call it a shield. I don't know what that is. I don't know if he's just carrying it or if it is a shield. It looks like a shield, but who knows? Or it could just be an altar, so he can do, he can do witch stuff. That's why. I mean, he does have a witch. He killed Dalsman from Street Fighter and took his skulls and put it on his staff. So, I mean, he did that, right? Let's look. Attacks one enemy. Has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff on the enemy for 2 turns. Love it already. A1, speed down, perfect for Iron Twins because speed down is so important in there. So yeah, I would like that. I like that a lot already. Attacks all enemies. Has a 75% chance of placing 30% decreased crit rate debuff and 25% decreased crit damage debuff on all enemies. I mean, can't really go wrong with a 30% drop in crit and crit damage. 25, I get it. But yeah, I'll take that. That's not bad. It's a weird skill because not many people have it. Removes 1 random debuff from all allies. So that's good. I don't know why 1 random, but hey, whatever. Then places a 30% increased crit rate and crit damage buff. So basically, he can lower crit rate and crit damage on the enemy, and he can increase crit rate and crit damage on you. So there you go. That's not bad. And he removes 1 random debuff. And it's on a, 4-turn cooldown with book. I mean, he's a good support. Yeah, heals an ally by 10% of their max HP when they're hit with a critical. I mean, that's a stupid passive. Am I the only one that got angry when they read that? Heals an ally by 10% of their max HP when they're hit with a critical. Dude, your skill is literally lowering their crit rate. Why does that make sense? Who was the idiot? Seriously, Polarium. Who's the moron that decided that was a good passive? What is it? So just in case you get a crit now? Like the whole point is to make it so they don't crit, and you want to put a passive on them just in case they get a crit in? Like, oh my god. All right, so yeah, Bovos Butthead. I mean, is he great? I mean, I wouldn't use him probably. I don't know. His reviews are probably trash. 4 3s, yeah, not surprising. Most epics usually run about 4 because they're better than most people's. But yeah, not this one. I wouldn't even build this guy, to be honest. I don't see, other than the speed, he brings nothing to the team. I would rather bring Syl in with her crappy chance to drop it. I mean, his isn't that much better, right? 30, 40, 50. Syl's, I think, like 25 or something. It's not good. I know that. But I would bring her over him just because at least she brings other stuff to the table. This guy doesn't really bring much to anything. All right, here we go. This dude looks cool. He looks like he killed a bird and then ate him. No, I don't know if he did that. He looks like something. He looks like he was from some game that I saw. I don't know. Either way, let's look at him. Mr. Blood. I thought that said something totally different. Bloodflock. There we go. Actually, I said he looks like he ate a bird, even though, and I didn't know his name was Bloodflock. All right, attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of stealing one random buff from the target. There's a lot of new heroes that do that, by the way, on their A1. It seems to be a little saturated. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs by 1 turn. Also has a 75% chance of increasing the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. All right, so you're Valerie. Good for you. Not really, but you know what I mean. It's enemy and ally. Yeah. Valerie does just the team. So yeah, I mean, not bad. I mean, it's not a bad skill. I'll take it. And it's an attack. It's not just a skill, so that's good. Revives 2 random allies with 30% HP and 30% turn meter. Places a shield buff on all revived allies for 2 turns, equal to 30% of this champion's max HP. So basically, you're just using him as a buff remover and fixer and reviving and stealing buffs. So he's really just a buff person that can revive. I mean, that's basically what he is. I mean, I'd probably would bring someone else if I had to think about it. What's his review? I'm gonna go with middle of the road. I don't think he's terrible, but I don't think he's great. Yeah, 4.3, a couple threes. Yeah, about middle of the road. That's what I figured. He's not someone I would build immediately. Let's put it that way. However, if you do not have a reviver on Knights Revan and try and do faction wars, I would build him immediately because I don't have. I think it's Grinner. Is Grinner Revenant? I think he is. I don't remember if he's Revenant or if he's something else. I don't have them. One dude that I really want him because he's an awesome support hero, and I just haven't pulled him yet. So, oh well. But yeah, I would build him for Knights Revan immediately, just because Knights Revan has some very weird heroes that I found, at least from like the Mystery Shards perspective. Doesn't really have a lot going on for it. It's got like really good heroes that are good at what they do, but together they suck. It's really weird. Like when you combine forces of all the heroes that are in the faction, they just suck like as a team. But in their separate respective spots, they do really great. They're like probably some of the best heroes in the game, which is weird. I don't know why that works that way. But yeah, I would build him if I had nothing else better. No other reviver. That's it. If I don't have a reviver, he's getting built. All right, Delah. She's cool looking, actually. I kind of thought she was boring the first time I saw her. I mean, I really wish she had a little bit more pizzazz, but I don't hate her. She looks like a peacock. All right, what does she do? Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit heals the champion by 2% of their max HP. Also each hit has a 20% chance of placing a poison. So that's good. 2 turns. I like it. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing decreased attack. Like that too. Places 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for 1 turn. Also places a shield buff equal to 20% of this max. That is what the all in one hero. Love this girl right now. Has a 30% chance of counterattacking when any ally lizard man except this champion are attacked. That's an insane skill as well. And she's based on HP. All of her attacks are based on HP, huh? Yeah, I like that. Increase HP. In fact, what the hell, dude? She has to have great reviews. Yeah. What? Yeah, she's faction wars. She's all faction. Yeah, I'm assuming that's why. Yeah, they put her all in faction. I would use her in other places. Like she's got a pretty ridiculous. The only thing that's weird is this. That's it. Like this is the only thing that's weird because you have to have an ally lizardman. It's not even a faction thing. You know what I mean? Her lead is for faction, but everything else is just has to be a lizard man. So you bring her in with like whatever, I don't know, raisin. There you go. She poisons. Yeah, that's crazy. Each hit heals the champion, and she heals herself. She's self healing. She's got poison, decreased attack, so they don't do as much damage, and she has a continuous heal buff and a shield buff. Like, yeah, I like all of it. Are her cooldowns bad? Let's see. One cooldown, 3 hits on this. That's not bad. This is 6 minus 2, 4. That's not incredibly bad either. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. Just give her some speed and she'll be fine. Yeah, I would build this. I would build her for faction wars immediately, and I would probably be using her in other things. Like, she would probably be really good in like Hydra and Spider and a couple of other things. Yeah, I think she's really good. What did they say she was good at? Faction Lord, Demon Lord, Campaign, Dragon's Lair. That's weird. All right. I mean, like I said, I'm just going based off what I'm seeing. I have no problem with her. I would build her pretty quickly. Based on the heroes that I've gotten, I would build her fast. But I'm sure there's ones that are better. Let's keep looking. Trumbore. This guy. I remember that I really wanted this dude. It's coffee time. Delicious deli coffee. All right. I remember I specifically wanted this hero from the fusion just so I could have him in the vault because he was good. Let's look at him and see why I thought that. All right, so he attacks one enemy 2 times. The first hit has a 30% chance of placing a 25% weaken, and the second hit is leech. All right, so weaken and leech on an A1. Immediately awesome. And he's a defense hero, which means his attacks are going to be based on defense, hopefully. So here we go. Attack based on defense. I love it already. Attacks all enemies, removes 1 random debuff on all allies before attacking. Damage increases by 5% for each debuff removed. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, if you have a team of 5, you remove 5 debuffs, right? 1 from all allies. And then you get a 25% increase in damage. I'll take that too. I love it. Especially because it's an AoE that removes it. Like you're doing an attack and removing stuff. So that's great. Places ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Places a 60% increased defense debuff on this champion for 2 turns. I already like him better than Visix. So that's that. Whenever this champion is attacked, has a 20% chance of decreasing the duration of all debuffs on this champion by 1 turn. Are you kidding me? That is amazing. Literally, he provokes, right? Does this guy provoke? Damage increases. Did he have a provoke? Yeah, he does, right? No, ally protection. No, he doesn't have a provoke. That's the only thing probably that's stopping him from being good. Like perfect. If he had a taunt or something like that, what are people saying about him? Yeah, they like him. Yeah, like I said, that's honestly, it's the provoke that's probably why he has a bad review on some things. If he had a provoke, this would be perfect. I don't see one, right? I'm not missing something, right? Leech, weaken, attacks all enemies, and removing buffs, and then ally protection and places an increased defense. Yeah, I mean, if he had a provoke on this, this would be the perfect kit. Like literally, I would put him in front of Visix because he doesn't have the provoke. It kind of stalls that a little. But the fact that he does have removing of buffs and stuff. Sometimes that actually might be better than Visix because at least he has support. Visix is more just she's more enemy defense. I mean, enemy like kind of manipulation. He's more you manipulation. So it just depends on what you're looking for. And I guess, yeah, if you get someone who can do veils on someone, maybe veil the whole team except one person. I don't know if that's even a thing, but yeah, get him to be the somehow figure out a way to get him to be attacked. Then yeah, he's a great hero. If you can't get him attacked, so like in like a spider, if he was the target, he'd be perfect for it because you can give him low HP and high defense because his damage is based on defense. So just give him a bunch of defense and no HP, kind of like Zephyr Sniper, and he'd be great for Spider. So yeah, I'd probably build him immediately. That's my thinking on it. I would build him pretty fast, and he's an orc because my orc faction sucks. So I would definitely want him. All right, dwarves. I probably would build this girl immediately just because she's a dwarf. That's how much I need dwarves. All right, let's look. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Each hit will ignore shield debuffs. Love it. Attacks all enemies. Places a 25% strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns. Love that. Teams up with 2 random already love her. 2 random allies to attack a single enemy. The allies joining the attack will always use their default skills. Yeah, grants an extra turn if an enemy's killed. Yeah, I love that too. So basically, you can you just keep doing that? That'd be awesome if we could reset it, right? Counterattacks when hit while under strength and buff. Okay, placed by this champion. It has to be placed by her. So there you go. I love it. I mean, she's awesome. I can think of a ton of different reasons to like her. She can ignore shield debuffs, which is amazing. So magic keep, magic, anyone that has block debuffs or shields. There you go. Sorry, it's only shield. Anyone that has shield stuff. Yeah, we don't need shields. That's probably why a lot of people use her in the arena. It's because she can whack people in the face that have a shield. I haven't had trouble with shields though. I would just use if I had a shield issue, I would just bring in Yannicka because Yannicka has an AOE that can do this. So I don't know how I feel about that. Attacks all enemies with the strengthen. I mean, that is great. A strengthen buff is always good, and it's an attack on all enemies. She's a defensive hero, right? I'm assuming, yeah, defense on all of these. So yeah, she's great for a lot of things. Then you can just stack defense while getting attack, and the random ally kind of tag team thing. That's great because I use Hyria in Clan Boss. So yeah, you could probably use her in Clan Boss. She's probably got really good ratings in the arena, Clan Boss, and a few other dungeons. Let's see. Fire Knight, yeah, and that's not surprising because the ally attack. Faction Wars, also not surprising. Demon Lord, one, not surprising. Arena, very not surprising. She's pretty much got 4.6 and 7s everywhere. Yeah, magic everywhere. Because she's just that good. Like that's just good. She's probably someone that I would build earlier on. She'll get you through dwarves, which is good, and she has a lot of utility in other places. So yeah, definitely build her. She could be your clan boss hero too. I use Hyria. You can use her. So there you go. This guy is a monster. Look at that, 1,500 reviews. The reason that they have those reviews is because everyone loves him. They nerfed him though, so we'll see if that changed. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 15% chance of placing a poison debuff for 2 turns. That's pretty standard. HP is what it's based on. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 75% chance of instantly activating one 5% poison debuff on the target. So it has to be a 5%. Is that what they're saying? So like, what if there's a 2%? Does it activate that? That's weird. It's weird that they put that language in there. All right, here we go. Attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing 2 5% poison debuffs and a 25% poison sensitivity debuff for 2 turns. Heals his champion by 1% of their max HP for each poison debuff placed by this skill. So 50% chance of placing 2 and the poison debuff, right? I mean, so basically the most you can get 1% of the max HP. So you can only get 2%, right? Am I reading that correctly? Right? Attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing 2 5% poison debuffs. Oh, that's right, because if you do it on the entire team, that would make more. So if there's 5 enemies, you get 2 on each. That's 10% of your HP you heal. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And then whenever a poison debuff is activated on an enemy, increase this champion's HP and defense by 5% and stacks up to 25%. Resets each round. How do I feel about that? That's whenever it's activated. So that basically means during the enemy turn, if you're using him as a farming hero, during the enemy's turn, you're going to get more HP and defense, and then back to normal when you start again. So it's essentially a way of keeping you from dying while you're waiting for your turn again. So I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad passive. It's better than the other crap I saw on the bovine, whatever his name was, that goat guy. I mean, it's a better passive than that. I've heard this guy's really good, and he used to be really good. I think he's still good, from what I can tell. Anyone that can self heal is good. Whether it heals him enough to stay alive, that I don't really know. I guess it depends on what level of enemy you're fighting. But yeah, he was soloing Dragon the first week, and they had to nerf him because he was too strong with the healing and the poisons. So I know they nerfed him a bit. Where is he good? Let's see. I know Dragon and anything that requires poison, probably Clan Boss. All right, so Dragon, yeah. Demon Lord, obviously, yeah. Pretty much everywhere except for Arena and Spider and some other things, yeah. All right, so yeah, he's good. He's good in a couple different places, actually, yeah. I would use him. I'd build him pretty early on. Gizard. I've heard good things about him, but I had him once, and I don't remember liking him. But that was back when I was stupid. Now I'm just kind of stupid. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 1 turn. Now everyone got this guy, by the way. If you got the code back in the day, when was that? That was like not very long ago. Everyone got him if you could. So most people should have him at this point, unless you just started today. In which case, sorry, I don't know if the code works. Attack one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 1 turn. So that's not bad. Attacks on enemies has a 50% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. Also places shield buff on this champion. All right, so that's a selfish shield, but it does attack everyone. And then increase defense and increase attack buff on all allies. I mean, that's good. I'll take a 50 and 60. That's actually not bad. And then fills the champion's turn meter by 15% whenever they are attacked by an enemy under provoke or increase attack. So he's a very selfish hero. Very, very little stuff outside of this. Which, I mean, this skill alone is worth it for on a 3-turn cooldown. Yeah, that's insane. So I'm not gonna say that's a bad. He's not a bad hero in any way. This right here is okay. I mean, that's like I said, it's for him. As long as they're provoked or increased attack, which most enemies in the arena especially will be, yeah, you're definitely going to have that. And this is the provoke for 1 turn, so that's not bad. So this is the attack for all enemies, right? So that provokes everyone. So let's just say you use this as a provoke. This doesn't really matter then for that other skill, because you're going to have to provoke them, and then I guess just attack anybody who's not provoked to get the attack going. Oh no, it's increased attack. So basically, it's you just have to provoke everyone, and then put this up, and then I guess just this attack all the whole time. Yeah, I mean it's weird the way it's set up. He's not bad. His skills are good. It's just they're all over. They're kind of weird. They work together, but they don't work. It's not harmony. It's just good enough. It's good enough. I would build him probably pretty quickly early on if I got him, just because Bannerlords was a little annoying, and he would probably have helped out a lot in there. Yeah, I would definitely use him, and he's defense. So even better. Anyone that's defense and can attack all enemies probably is really good. Defense and faction crypts even better, 27%. So yeah, I'd probably build him for faction wars almost immediately, and he's probably really good in other areas too. Where is he good? Where does everyone say he's good? Yeah, most places, because the attack up and defense up. Like just that alone is without anything else. This skill alone is probably worth it. So yeah, I would build him. Everyone's favorite, Mr. Mask Fearmonger. We got him recently from one of those stupid prisms. And then we have the last one that we just got coming up next. So this guy I know everyone hates. He attacks one enemy and does the True Fear, reduces cooldown of champion Taste of Despair skill by 1 turn if this enemy kills. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Attacks one enemy, 75% chance of placing Fear debuff, and a 75% chance of placing Decreased Speed debuff, and then has a 75% chance of placing True Fear debuff on 2 enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills it. So I don't like heroes that require to kill someone to activate. So I would already not like this guy. Attacks one enemy will ignore 35% of the target's defense if the target is under a fear or true fear debuff. So basically we don't use one of his big skills, right? Attacks one enemy will ignore 35%. So that's all the same. Places a block debuff. Okay, on him, I would assume. An increased speed debuff for 2 turns. And a revive on death buff on this champion if this attack kills an enemy. So, yeah, everything he does fills the champion's turn meter by 50% whenever an enemy's HP drops below 20%. Okay. So, I mean, all right, so here's what you want to know what this is? This is this is like a noob slayer. That's what this is. That's what this guy is. All right. He looks cool as hell. He's probably one of my favorite looking heroes in the game. So I would say that he is badass looking. A little bit, what's that called? A little BSM going on with him a little bit. A little Jason BSM. I don't know how I feel about that. But he does look cool, and he looks scary, and I like scary. I think like scarecrows, like Harvest Jack. I like all those heroes. So yeah, does he look cool? Yeah. Would he kill anything important? Probably not. This guy probably has the worst reviews. Yeah, he's reasonable, and it's not even good reviews. He had some reds. This guy, I don't know. I'm sure he's good in little areas. Would I build him immediately? No. He's one of those guys that has to kill things. So he's good for like low areas. Otherwise, like I wouldn't bring this guy in like a stage 25 fight. I mean, unless you really need true fear. Yeah. He's garbage. We don't need him. And then Burgo is our newest member to the Vault team. This is what we call the Vault team. It's all the heroes I don't use that just sit in the vault because I can't use them. All right, now this guy is the brother of Coffin Smasher. Yeah, they're brothers. I don't know if you know that. It's in the lore, and see, it's not there, which means I'm the only one that knows. So you should listen to me. And he is Coffin Smasher's brother, and they both listen to MC Hammer. And every time they kill something, they say hammer time. And this guy actually had 2 hammers, whereas Coffin Smasher only has 1 because he stole the other hammer from him and told him that I'm your big brother and I get both. So he only gets 1 now, and it's a smaller hammer. So here, let's look and see what he does. He attacks 1 enemy. I already hate him. I'm just kidding. Attacks 1 enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 15% continuous heal buff on this champion for 1 turn if the attack is critical. And he's an HP hero. So there you go. You immediately get a 15% heal every single time you attack, as long as you're critting. So he's going to need crit rate. Attacks all enemies, has a 30% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 2 turns. All right, I like that. Whenever this champion is attacked, I knew that was coming, heals all allies except this champion by 20% of the damage received. That is basically why people like him. Now, this guy, I think, what is it? Is it Volgoth? This is Burgoth, and there's Volgoth, I think. He has the same kind of thing where he heals everybody when you attack him. So this guy is good for like an arena thing for provoking and healing. I don't think he's as good as the other guy, but he is good. He is good. But yeah, I mean, he gets the continuous heal by attacking, so he has a heal. I would put him in regen. I don't think I would put him in lifesteal. I think I would make him super fast. So yeah, because he's got the provoke, right? I don't know about super fast. Maybe kind of fast. You want the team to take a turn, so maybe mid-range speed. If you go too fast, the provoke won't land. I mean, if you can figure out a way to get 2 provokes off before the enemy goes, then yeah, that's better. But I would say mid-range, you could provoke everybody, and then you could attack with this to heal, and then a round will go by, and you'll heal the whole team, and then you go back and do this again. Now, this is on a 4-turn cooldown, so that could take a little while, so you're going to need something that can get that down quicker. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I like him. He's not bad for arena. I would use him in a lot of places where he's can be the provoker and just get attacked all the time and heal everyone. Sure, if you have a healer with you, then you don't need him to be in regen. You could just put him in an HP set, and there you go. Problem solved. You could put him in that 15% HP set that does the healing. That solves both problems. Look at that. So yeah, he's got reasonable reviews. I mean, remember, the reviews aren't like set in stone. It's not like it's like reading Yelp. Like most people that go on Yelp are idiots. So don't 100% ever go on the reviews. But yeah, I would say just read their skills and see if it's something you want. The only way to really find out is to build them and see, because sometimes a multiplier can change a hero. You might have a hero that has the best skills in the game, but their multipliers suck, and none of it matters because they just don't do anything. So there is that. Real quick, we're just going to kind of touch base on these 2 that I don't use, that I can't use. Selena Nightcloak. She's got a attack on 1 enemy, heals this champion by 10% of their max HP. So that's really nice. Heals the champion by 20% of their max HP instead if they're on their HP burn. So that's nice. Attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of increasing the duration of any HP burn by 1 turn. Attacks 3 times before attacking, increases accuracy. That's nice. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing HP burn. So her kit works. She can put HP burn. Then she has a 50% chance of increasing the duration of HP burns, and then she can heal herself every time she attacks. So that's amazing. Boost the champion's turn meter by 5% each time an HP burn debuff is activated. I honestly, like I said this when we got her in the original, she was my favorite one from that team of rares that got released, and I would immediately build her. Like I would take any book that I had even and build her because she has such a good kit that she can't be bad. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody's going to hate on her though, right? Nope, she actually has really good reviews. So yeah, the few people that got her and leveled her, yeah, you probably have a really good hero here with HP burns and stuff. She'd probably be good for a lot of things. I mean, I can think of at least 20 things right now. She'd be good for making cake. No, clan boss. I could see this being good for Hydra. Like, there's a lot of things she's good at. It's an early HP burn hero. So, yeah, that's something that doesn't come up very often. I would definitely build her immediately. And then Not, who is also really good from what I remember. Attacks 1 enemy 3 times, amazing on an A1. It's 1 enemy. This is the important one. 1 enemy. Apothecary suffers on this one with the frickin' random. I hate random attack. It literally can screw up your whole fight. Like, if you're fighting Bommel, or anybody where like you can't attack somebody for something, it's a random hit. So if you accidentally hit them, you know what I mean? It's so stupid. So this is better than Apothecary's dumb random stuff. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 20% chance of placing a 25% decrease attack. So I like that. 3 hits. Heals all allies by 15% of their max HP. Also places 30% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Yeah, I like all that. And then this revives 2 random allies with 25% HP, 25% turn meter. Also places a shield buff on revived allies for 2 turns, equal to 20% of their max HP. Yeah, this guy is amazing. Like, really good. He's basically on the same page as Tolog. He's there to keep your team alive, all right? And then you've got heroes like Apothecary who are there to keep you sped up and alive. So it just depends on what you need for that fight, and that's it. I would build him right alongside Tolog, almost the same way, and just get him to be as good as that. So if you're interested in how I built Tolog, I think I do have a champion spotlight on that, and you can look that up. He is Torag. Is it Tolog? Yeah, Tolog. I get confused. There's so many T names, so many everything names. But yeah, I would build him immediately. These 2 rares are probably my 2 favorites, actually, out of everybody we just talked about. That's the sad part. Is that that's how good some of these 2 rares are. I would build, like, specifically would build those 2 rares first over everybody we just talked about. So yeah, I mean, that's all the heroes that I have in the vault that I've acquired that I don't use, that are left over. And like I said, you can go watch the other video, the heroes I don't use for the legendaries that everybody got, and you can kind of see what they're about. I did talk about the Dragon Hunter from in one of my other videos. So, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of videos out there for her. But yeah, they're pretty cool heroes. I mean, it just shows that you can get a lot of heroes from playing over time, and you don't have to really worry about too much, because you're eventually going to get heroes. I do mystery shards only, and I don't summon anything, and I have, what is this? A pretty lengthy vault of random heroes that would at least help me out in a lot of different ways for this game. So don't think that you're going to be stuck. Don't think that it matters who you pull. There's plenty of heroes you're going to get over time, and you will get some good heroes. So don't sweat the little stuff. All right. And by little stuff, I mean this dwarf. No, I don't mean that. All right. Well, that's it for today. If you guys have any questions or things that, I mean, like I said, this isn't the absolute. This is just my first opinion about these and what I'm reading. I don't know a lot about these guys. A lot of them I haven't used. Some of them I've seen and fought. Some of them I haven't. So don't get you can get riled up if you want, but it don't matter to me. Yeah, just leave a comment. Let me know if you use these guys for anywhere. Maybe you guys have a plan or a set that you can put certain heroes in that would immediately make them better. Because first glances are not always correct. It's just what I'm seeing from it and how I would consider using them. But yeah, that's it. And then as always, like, share, subscribe. You make the day a better place. You make the day a better place. You make this place a better day. You make the world a better place. There you go. When you like, share, and subscribe. All right? You do. So just do it. All right? And you make me happy. And you know what? You get more content because then I have more things. All right, guys. That's it for today. This is the heroes that I have in my vault, and they're all fun. This is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and you guys take care.